And we are back with Ekwa Msangi. I want to talk about your new film, Farewell, Amor. Now, before we go to a clip, can you tell us what the film is about?
Yeah, the film is a story about a family that's been separated due to visa immigration issues for 17 years. And so at the top of the film, they are finally reuniting after this long separation. And they are embarking on this journey of discovering one another, discovering themselves, and what family actually means in this sort of new world that they found themselves in.
So let's look at a clip, and this is Farewell, Amor.
Amor. After 17 years apart, thank you for bringing us together.
Welcome.
It's not his fault that we had to wait so many years.
Why didn't he come back home then?
Why are you here?
Just one dance.
We don't know each other anymore.
We lost so many years.
So, what do we do now?
This country is very hard. You always have to carry yourself a certain way. You're the only one who knows what you know and who can do what you do. So be yourself.
Wow. So, like I said, I mean, there's kind of a love story underneath all this, and there's also kind of a dance aspect of it. Correct? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, dance is important to me. I grew up knowing that I was going to be a dancer as a young person. I do a lot of social dancing, but I'm not professional. And what I loved about this particular style of dance from Angola, it's called Kizomba. It's a dance, it's a partner dance, a very beautiful and sensual partner dance that requires a certain level of connectedness in order to lead or follow. And I just thought that was such an interesting metaphor for a relationship. It's like if you are not connected, you can't lead or follow in this relationship. And so this family is using dance. The older people are using Kizomba. The younger daughter is using a different style called kuduro, and they're using dance as a tool, as a way to find their way back to each other.
So how did the whole project come about, and where did the idea come from? As I recall, you had some relatives that were facing similar challenges, no?
Yeah, absolutely. I have an aunt and uncle who were married in the mid-90s, and my uncle got a student visa to come to the U.S. And came with every intention of bringing his family with him. At that time, my cousin was 5 months old, and they've been stuck in this never-ending visa application drama until now. They are literally still applying for visas, still petitioning, still hopeful that one day they'll be reunited. And, over the years, we've gotten to see how it's changed them, how it's changed their lives, how, the people they've had to turn into in order to remain hopeful. And so it's inspired by that. And the story was kind of like the what if. What if Auntie finally got her visa? Then where do they begin at that point?
Well, I think right now, especially with the immigration, and I'm not trying to, and I know the film doesn't get into the politics of it,
right.
But I think it's an important story to tell right now because, especially in the States, with immigration viewpoints being what they are, it's important to put a family face, a face that people can associate with through viewing the film, a protagonist that you might be able to associate with?
I mean, that was definitely one of my, intentions was, in the past 4 years, we've heard all this rhetoric about all the things that immigrants are taking from our country and the resources and they're dangerous and they're this and they're that. And we never think about what immigrants give up in order to come to the US, in order to, who they've left behind. Nobody in the world, I don't believe anybody in the world would prefer to go live in some foreign land where they don't speak the language and they don't know anybody, as opposed to being home with the people that they love. Like, people do that because of necessity. And they also bring a lot of resource to the United States or whatever host country it is, and we never really talk about that.
So, your film has met almost universal acclaim, best I can tell. What was the message that you wanted to get across most, would you say?
I don't know about most. That's a great question. I think that there was definitely wanting to show Black love on screen, like just tender, like a family, a couple, like that are actually going after each other. You tend to see a lot of films about like people falling out of love, for example, and then realizing that they made a mistake later or not. But I wanted a couple that was actually going after each other, regardless of, the different challenges around them. And I wanted a film that had dance because I love dance and I love this particular music that goes with the dance. And so I just wanted something that people could feel enriched from, like my audience could step away feeling fed.
What should we expect from you next?
I think my next project probably will be an American-based story, which I'm actually really excited about because it has the same kind of nuance to it. American people are not a monolith, as we've been able to tell, especially in the past months. The people are very specific. They have specific accents that they use and specific cultures and foods and different things like that. And so really wanting to get into the history. I can't talk about the project yet, but I do have some work that's coming up that I'm really excited about and excited to share.
So where can our audience best follow along with you and your work? And better yet, where and when will they be able to see the film?
Yeah, so Farewell Amor is coming out December 11th in theaters and all platforms in North America, December 18th in Europe and worldwide. You can follow me at Ekwapix, EKWAPICS. That's on all of my social media accounts and my website.
We'll put it on the screen, basically,
yeah,
right over there. Well, actually, over there, I think, is where your side will be.
And the film Farewell Amor will probably have a website as well, farewellamorfilm.com or something like that. So excited to be able to share all of the work from there.
Ekwa, thank you so much for joining us today. It's crazy that we have to do it this way, but like I said before we started, doing the interview, it's great that we're able to now get guests like you on the show that we wouldn't, because with this process we can now reach somebody on the other side of the world. Because where are you? Tell our guests where you are talking to us from right now.
I am in Nairobi, Kenya right now.
So, I mean, it's great that we can do it in this format because now we can have interviews like this. It's a completely different side of the world, completely different time zone.
Excellent.
So thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, writer-director Ekwa Msangi.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So pleased.
Thanks for being here.